There's something cooking between India and Bangladesh, and what is cooking is something pretty serious. Why? Because developments over the past 1 week have suggested that India and Bangladesh are up for some serious reset in ties. Now consider the chronology of events. Soon after, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, addressed a press briefing at the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia in New Delhi on August 5. Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Dinesh Trivedi, met the top echelons of the Bangladeshi government, including the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Tariq Rahman, the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Khalilur Rahman, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh's Foreign Affairs Advisor, Humayun Kabir, and his Home Minister, Salahuddin Ahmed. Now, while that meeting happened on August 10, there was another meeting that has enthused geopolitical and strategic commentators across South Asia. And that was the meeting between India's Secretary of R&AW, Parag Jain, and the Defense Advisor to the Bangladesh Prime Minister, AKM Shamsul Islam. Now, significantly, the meeting between the Intelligence Chief of India and the Defense Advisor to the Bangladeshi Prime Minister came after the Directorate General of Forces Intelligence of Bangladesh had invited Parag Jain, the Secretary R&AW of India, and his team to meet the DGFI officials. Strategic experts point out that this meeting has come soon after Jain made a visit to Beijing. And it is being speculated that these visits hold significance because they come ahead of the BRIC summit that is scheduled to be held in India in September this year, and preparations for which are going on in full vigor. Now, while both India and Bangladesh have termed the meeting as a routine engagement, it is the timing of the meeting that has led to speculation about the subject matter of discussion between the two sides. And strategic affairs experts in India are viewing this as a very positive development on the front of the India-Bangladesh ties. Now, the importance of chronology begins here. Why? Because soon after Trivedi and Jain held talks with the topmost echelons of the Bangladeshi regime, Trivedi was back in India and met none other than the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and briefed him about his discussions with the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. And sources say that the major subject was the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now consider this. Soon after the meeting between the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tariq Rahman and India's High Commissioner to Dhaka, Dinesh Trivedi, Bangladeshi Foreign Minister Khalilur Rahman, who is one of the most powerful people in Bangladesh at present, declared that it was still not decided whether or not the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tariq Rahman would attend the BRIC summit or not. Now, in fact, Khalilur Rahman went on to project a strong face before the media and said that Bangladesh had conveyed to the Indian High Commissioner its stand on the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and that he hopes that she would not be provided a platform to engage with the media like the August 5 press conference that Hasina was allowed to hold at the Foreign Correspondent Club of South Asia in New Delhi on August 5. However, sources in Bangladesh say that while the Tariq Rahman government and his topmost aides are presenting before the media a bold face, his government is in a major bind when it comes to Sheikh Hasina's declaration of returning to Bangladesh in December this year. In fact, it is well known that soon after Sheikh Hasina made the declaration, Tariq Rahman held a meeting of senior leaders from across party lines in Bangladesh, and the matter of Sheikh Hasina's return was discussed in depth. In fact, it was decided in that meeting that the political parties that are on the opposite side of the Awami League, that still continues to hold a majority of support within Bangladesh should unite against the Awami League. Now, clearly, while the topmost echelons of the Bangladesh government, including the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, are putting a bold face in front of the media, it is evident that there are ripples within the Bangladeshi government due to Sheikh Hasina's bold declaration of returning to Bangladesh by December. Now, while some sources are viewing this as a major gamble by Sheikh Hasina to salvage her Awami League and also the career of her son Sajid Wazid's joy, others are viewing this as a major geopolitical and strategic move by India. In fact, Kolkata-based senior columnist Pratim Ranjan Bose has commented that the August 5 press conference in which Sheikh Hasina participated marked a new beginning in India-Bangladesh ties. Bose further commented that while India had been maintaining strategic patience for at least 2 years, with the press conference held on August 5, India has now gone on the front foot. He further remarked that while the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tariq Rahman was offered a red carpet as early as in February 2026, soon after he was chosen as the leader of the Bangladeshi people, he had declined that invitation. But now, if he must come, he would come under the shadow of Sheikh Hasina. Significantly, Bose commented that if Tariq strikes a confrontational note, India would up the ante. Now, it is important to be noted that these developments come even as there has been a demand from a section of the Awami League that the death sentence to the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina that has been issued by the International Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh should be suspended by at least 1 year. In fact, a section of the party leaders feel that if her death sentence is suspended for 1 year, it will ensure that Hasina returns safely in Bangladesh. In fact, sources tell this India Abroad correspondent that the Awami League has also reached out to the United States of America for intervention in this matter. And in fact, top Hasina aides are discussing with several US congressmen and diplomats a possibility on how a safe return for Sheikh Hasina can be ensured. But what is coming in between is the legacy of the frosty ties between Sheikh Hasina and the United States of America, as the former shared a very uneasy relationship with the US when she was in power in Bangladesh for as long as 15 years. In fact, a Bangladesh Human Rights Watch report had found that the US aid and other agencies had spent millions in Bangladesh to ensure that the regime of Sheikh Hasina is toppled. Now, with this rocky background in past, it remains to be seen whether or not Sheikh Hasina can return to Bangladesh safely and whether or not the United States of America indulges in some back-channel diplomacy to help the Awami League in this situation and ensure that Bangladesh provides her safety upon her return. Now, while neither the United States of America or India or Bangladesh have said anything on record about a possibility of ensuring a safe return to Sheikh Hasina to her homeland Bangladesh, one thing is certain: Sheikh Hasina has been the major point of discussion between the recent meetings that were held between the Indian High Commissioner Dinesh Trivedi with the top brass of the Bangladeshi government, as well as his briefing to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi that came soon after Trivedi's meeting with the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. So clearly, the coming months are going to be interesting ones when it comes to India-Bangladesh ties and also for the fate of the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. And we'll bring you all the relevant developments pertaining to the issue here at India Abroad. Reporting from New Delhi, this is Shikha Salaria.